Hey guys, it's winter and this is the time of year to start cleaning your tools, which I'm not that diligent with. I don't know about you guys, but I will be diligent. That might be my word for 2022 is diligent, in that when I'm through using with the tool, wipe it off and clean it. The only tool I found of my favorite, these are my favorite tools that I use all the time. This trowel actually looked really clean. This came off the metal rack. This was my little garden weasel that I put my tulips in November, and I hadn't taken the time to scrape the dirt off, and that's what I'm going to do right now. I've scraped off the most. I'm going to stick it in a bucket of water, let it soak. My other tool I use all the time is my Dandelion Digger, or my weeder. It needs to be cleaned. I've also, let me stick that in the water. We'll rinse that off with the dandelion cleaner. I have to always paint the handle because I've lost so many of these. What I have found, if I don't buy something that has a colored handle, like these, or my trowel, it can get lost in the garden or in in the compost pile. Anyhow, so today what we're doing, we're cleaning my favorite tools, which are my trowel, this is called a floral shovel. I like it for my perennial beds because of the little 8-inch blade, and it fits me. It's not too big. So we're going to rinse it off, sharpen its blade. This is nice and clean. I don't have to do anything to it. And then we'll be sharpening. I'll demonstrate on one of my hand pruners how you clean it and how you sharpen it. So let's start with one of the easier things, which is just washing your tools off, getting them nice and clean. Scrape most of the dirt off first, and I've already done that. And then you're just going to dry them off. Let me get my towel. We had a little leak down here in the basement. Our ice maker went on the blink, and I kept hearing this little sound, and Reggie, being the plumber that he is, he fixed it. Anyhow, so some of my towels have been used. So with this blade, with the shovel, it looks nice and clean, as you can see. And then all you're going to do, you're going to take this nice flat sharpening tool called a file, and you're just going to follow the edge. If you get a little closer, you can see you don't have to do the whole edge, just where it starts to curve. You're going to go at a 45-degree angle, one direction. You don't want to do this like that. Never, never, never. Just go straight. Now, a lot of, do I always sharpen my shovels? No. But today's the day that I've decided once a year I am going to be very good about my other tools as well as my hand pruners. The hand pruners I do sharpen a lot in between whatever I'm doing. I am very diligent in that. My shovel, not so much. But this is making me very happy. Look at that. You can see how shiny it looks. Very happy with that. All right, then you turn it over. And if there's any kind of little filings left, you just keep it flat. Clean that off, just like that. Isn't that nice and clean? And then if your wood handle feels rough anywhere, like some splinters, you want to sand that off. This still feels nice and smooth. When I'm done with my other pruners, we'll add a little 3-in-1 oil to the blade itself here, the shovel. So we know this is clean. Look at this. All you got to do, dip them in there. Lost my washcloth. Here it is. So you just wipe that off. Comes nice and clean. That way, come spring, you'll be ready. Look at that. So much better. this little tool, clean all the mud off. Look at that handle, it's been used a lot. And you make them as clean as you want them to be. Because they're hardworking tools, I'm okay if they're not perfect, because they're going to go back in the ground come March and April. Now I will give this a little spritz of paint. Just, there we go. So you can see how that's going to brighten up. And I'm not picky if it gets a little bit on the blade. That way I can see it when it's in the garden, in the ground. You don't want to lose your paint. Oh, a little paint there. So those are clean. That's nice and clean. Make certain they're nice and dry, because these will go back outside. That's done. Hardest working tools, trowels, weeder. When it comes to our hand pruners, you can see that I've got a nice edge on this. I've kept it nice, and it is sharp, but you can see the dirt. And these other two will all get, I've kept that one nice and sharp too, cleaned. You can see the sap, and all you do to clean the sap is scrubbing bubbles. Just spray it on there, give it a second. I'm going to go ahead and give that one a lick. Let it sit. Let me put my gloves on. And then you're just going to use, I have a little wire brush to get into all the crevices. And the best part about these pruners is you want them sharp. And when I went looking several years ago for a pair of pruners, we went into Lowe's. You can see how it's starting to show the saps leaving. We went into Lowe's. I found a pair of pruners, and I was just holding them, and Reg is there, and I don't know how it happened, but his finger got between me and the snips. The next thing I know, there is blood all over the floor. So immediately I start walking to the front desk, lay my pruners down, and I suggest to, let's call him Joe. Joe, will you go to the bathroom with Reg? I've cut his finger. The next thing I know, Reggie's coming out and there's blood everywhere. Fortunately, we were in this little town of Buchanan. The locals know, and we go up to St. Joe's Hospital. It's about a 5-minute drive. Felt like an hour, because I don't do well when I see anyone's blood, let alone my husband's. We get up there. It's early in the morning. Emergency room. No one's there except my friend Judy, who's a gardener, who I hadn't seen in a long time. Reggie's bleeding. We're filling out the papers. Judy and I are just yakking about the tools and gardens, and Reggie's sitting there, like, hey guys, what about me? Oh, look how nice and clean. Scrubbing bubbles. If that doesn't take it all off, you want to keep a little bit of steel wool handy. Clean that off. Just like that. Oh, look how clean. I am thrilled. Now this is painted black, okay? These are my newest clean hand pruners. That scrubbing bubbles really works. If it doesn't do it, you can always do it a second time. Oh, I'm real pleased with how this is looking. So anyhow, so this is cleaning up nice. And finally the doctors came, they got Reg. And Judy and I are sitting out there laughing. When he comes back out, his hand is wrapped like they cut the finger off. Come to find out, there was no skin left for them to stitch. They had to cauterize it, and it was because it was bleeding so much. But you know what we did? When we walked out of there, Reg goes, do you want to go get those pruners? I said, well, yeah. So we go in. Okay, once you dry this off, just like this, when you go to sharpen your pruners, you can see the edge. Again, you can just follow that natural edge. And I like using, this is a little Corona, a Corona sharpening tool. You can find those online. I think it was an 8300. And you're going to, again, I use my thumb as a fulcrum. At an angle, you're going to swipe across the edge about 7 times. You can see 6, 7, from the base to the tip. Now I can feel that it's sharp. I'm not going to show you with blood. When you get close, you might be able to see the little filings. So you take the flat edge and just go right across to get those files off. Just like that. So we bought the pruners. We go back to Lowe's. We walk in. We follow the blood path to where the pruners were. And they had hung the pruners back up because we knew, the pack we'd looked at. We take it to the counter to pay them. And then they stop us. They said, "Excuse us, would you mind coming to the back?" And we looked at each other like, "Well, we just want to buy the pruners. We don't want to sue ya. It was my fault. He's fine. No, you got to come to the back." We go to the back. We sit us down. They make us sign a paper that we're not going to sue them. And we said, "No, we just want the pruners." So finally, they let us go out. And we brought the pruners, brought them home. I don't know if Reggie still has filling back in his finger yet. No. Okay. And anyhow, they are sharp. And in fact, this set of pruners was last year. I was using them and I still don't have the feeling back in this finger. I took half of it off and Reggie taped it up, went back in the garden and done it. But anyhow, now what you do, now that you've gotten this nice and oiled, nice and cleaned, you can add a little bit of oil right here around the blade, around your fittings, and then just be careful when you wipe this. Wipe everything down. Do a little of this action. Let's put a little bit here. Lubricate your tools. There we go. And look how nice that looks. You can see the difference. See this pair? I'm going to finish cleaning this one up. All these cleaned up today, filed with this nice little Corona tool. And I do this, I don't necessarily clean my tools every time I go to sharpen them, but I do sharpen my tools often. That's something that I believe in. And this is handy just to keep, when you go to your garden, when I go to my garden, I take this, I take my tool for weeds, I take my hand tools, and I always want them sharp. So there you have it. Let me add a little bit of oil to I'll be adding oil to my little shovel. Hang this up. I might even be motivated to bring all the tools in and give them a cleaning, but today, this is what I've done. And I will finish cleaning these and sharpening these. So that's gardening on the West Fork. Cleaning, sharpening, lubricating, my favorite tools. We'll see you the next time. And I need to clean out the utility room where I keep all the stuff. So that may be a winter project too. Thanks for watching. Bye.